Hey. What's good?
Hi, sorry, I didn't see that we were starting.
You're good, Esli. How is everyone? Yeah, it'd be great if we could see y'all's faces.
Yeah, not to put you on the spot or anything, but we want everyone to be engaged since we can't be together in these unprecedented times. So if you're able to, please turn on your camera. Oh, I think you're muted.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just joined. I was wondering what we were doing.
Oh, no, you're good. Wait, real quick. I don't want to butcher your name. Is it Malaysia?
No, it's Malaysia.
Shit, I'm sorry. I should have just asked. We're just waiting for more people to join us. Oh, and I think enough people have joined. So we can move forward with a check-in. Do any of y'all have a check-in?
Anyone?
No one?
How about
thinking, oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Oh, you go.
No, you go.
Okay.
What I was going to say was
Sure.
How about we just type it in the chat? Let's just put your ideas in the chat.
So, what are we checking in or making a prompt?
I was thinking how about something like a prompt about I'm so sorry, I completely lost my train of thought. I'll just type it in the chat if I remember.
You're good. And yeah, to Brita, answer your question, we're just trying to. Oh well. I guess we're just gonna wait for Bree to come back. But fuck, ow, Opie, what the fuck? Oh shit, wait, I have not fed you. Yasleen, can you take over real quick? I need to feed her.
Yeah, okay, so we want to pick your brains. I like to use that phrase. We want to ask you what kind of topics you want to write about, or like a general outline for the script. So yeah, what kind of things come to mind? We can popcorn it around. We can start with Tamar.
So I would probably need more time to think about it because it's all a blur, the days continue in loops, while some moments are time lapsed, press fast forward, and others are slow motion, hitting rewind hard. And now I'm just here still thinking about my childhood all the time, the memories, the stories, my family. It continues.
Wait, do you want to pass it to someone?
Oh, sorry. I will pass it to Yasleen.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I guess this isn't what I expected doing college from my childhood home. I've reverted back to my former self, housekeeper, peacekeeper, obedient daughter. I guess when you're a woman, you're always working overtime. Josh, do you want to go?
Yeah. I'm not really sure, but one thing that I've been thinking about is that this last year, it feels like such a back and forth feeling, like cycles. I feel like this year I've gotten so much more at home in myself, more at ease in the way I interact with others and in my capacity for love. But at the same time, there's this feeling of stagnancy, like something's always pulling me back, like I'm running in a dream. And it's not always a nightmare, but I'm not awake.
That was really good. Do you want to give it to someone else?
Oh yeah. Sorry, I forgot. Malaysia? Oh, sorry, I didn't notice that you were eating. Do you want me to I can popcorn to someone else. All right, yeah, sorry again. Bree?
Kayla,
I can't.
Oh, hi. Sorry, my Wi-Fi's been like really bad today.
you're good. The Wi-Fi has been horrible.
Yeah. So what are we doing today?
Right now, we're just checking in, seeing how folks are doing. And who did we just say was going to go next?
I think Joss picked Bree to go next.
Oh, for sure. Bree, are you good to go?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I definitely have a lot of F's to give in that respect, like F the police, because they really have me out here feeling like survivor's guilt in the midst of this state haunting. And it's this weird deja vu again and again. And yeah, um, Alina, I see you eating, but we all eating, so you can go.
Thank you, Bray. Yeah, I can go. Sorry if you can hear background noise, but yeah, I'm kind of thinking. So the only socialization I've had is at my job. Even though we're in the middle of a pandemic, capitalism still relies on the working class to keep the wealthy happy. So I'll pass it to Malaysia.
Hi. So I don't have much poetry. I've written it before. I performed it. I don't know. It's just not something that I really have like ever gotten into. I just never stuck with it, and not really to bring anything serious up, but I think that stems from people's childhood. Like the ability to stick to something. Maybe if I learned to, then I'd be able to now.
You want to pass it to someone?
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know who hasn't gone, so anyone can go.
I think that just leaves me. Yeah, thank you guys for sharing. These were so good. You guys are amazing me already. Hearing the like types of things y'all were talking about, like it's not great things that are happening right now, but if anything, we can use the space that we're creating to make the future that we want for ourselves. So
These were really good. I wish you're recording.
am I not record? Oh my God, I'm not recording. Give me 1 second to hit record real quick, and then we'll just do this all again, okay? And yes. Wait, no.
Happy birthday to my younger self, a child left alone on a solemn day, born during the loneliest summers. Birthdays are the devil, my grandma warned as I sat on the couch and waited, counting the ticking of the clock in an empty home, semi-permanent. The first time I moved, I kept the boxes closed, nervous that I'd have to repack everything, all the hand-me-downs, small gifts, and vintage items. If I blinked, maybe they'd disappear. Finally grounded to one place, my only company was time itself. So I waited for the gifts, waited for the cake, waited for the surprise. I learned to fear my own birth, for the devil was always there to celebrate, offering me gifts and so much more. Money in my subconscious, I craved so much more, wondering why happiness couldn't be bought when it clearly cost a price.
Sitting in that deafening dark outside, bundled in a blanket, in a plastic white chair on the stoop, waiting for Mom to come home, and she never does. an eternity for a child, knowing she doesn't have the graveyard shift no more. She used to tie our hair up so tight, played dress up with little mixed doll daughters. Don't want to pass down that absence. Don't think this womb will bear any more for this line. Things I could do correctly in this world, new generations don't need this blood. Negotiating with my own reflection, trying to erase what's behind my eyes. I didn't grow up with my language because neither did my father. I walked a rock labyrinth in the woods the other day. Every circle a cycle, and what's happened will be repeated. Pray that the universe can take it from me, baggage I don't want. And I remember my grandmothers, and their mothers, and their mothers, the mountains they moved, the grit in their teeth. Maybe there is something they see in me that I can't.
I want to keep Blackness. Want to keep the way everybody ain't meant to be in the kitchen at the same time. Want to keep remembering when to throw salt over your shoulder, to not listen when the devil come calling, praying over the house, over the kids, to keep grandma's garden, to cook as a family, celebrate the new year with greens and fish and peas. I want to keep spending time with elders and family. I want to keep gospel music blasting in the house when cleaning. I want to keep bringing church clothes to sleepovers, listening to the birds, feeding the birds, telling stories, or how to cook beans slow, how to take care of fruit trees, how to fish, how to fry it after you descaled it and deboned it, how to get up and go.
Figuring out how to find comfort again. As a child, my favorite days were Sunday mornings. How peaceful they were. Nowhere to go, no thought in mind. Just a cool breeze pushing the blinds against one another. They clacked as my mother brought her tea to a boil. The sweet, thick aroma carried around the house, spices kissing our noses as the rest of us arose from slumber. The TV always played soft in the background, and my mother's voice boomed over the murmur. Yet as soon as I exited my room and stretched across her thighs, she became quieter, softer, petting my head as the warm ray of sunlight caressed my legs. I craved that feeling now, almost as if it occurred in another lifetime, another dimension, an alternate universe. Desperately trying to remember if your cup was cream or white, if Judge Judy or Fox News played, if I said I love you before I left, or did I rush out the door? I now attempt to boil tea and sip slowly as you did, attempt to talk as loudly as you did, with bravo and confidence, with light-hearted joking and sincere compliments. But I scorch my tongue, and I stutter when I speak, and my tea's too bitter, and I can't seem to make it smell as sweet as you did. Instead, I drive along empty roads littered with our dead conversations, riddled with God and prayer and crying and frustration and screaming, rehearsing conversations about what to do when the time comes. Figuring out how to find comfort again on Sunday mornings without you, and Monday mornings, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Christmas, Mother's Day, and what about my sense of comfort on September 23rd or June 14th? On the days of your rising and your demise, where must I look for it then? I don't drive along those roads anymore. I sleep in Sunday mornings and miss the clack of the blinds, and chai tea is better cold.
Gold is God, gold is grandma. Guilt is passed down like Sunday to Monday. The days continue. She liked gold, and I never asked her why. But each day her skin was entertained and tangled with chains and bracelets and something lasting. My sister Maya tells me, white girls don't look good in gold, and I think about grandma. Safta wasn't white and isn't white. She's on the brown side, but she has that milky white skin. She looked the way grandma should look. Shining, assured, resilient, warm, selective, classic. It's like I know I like gold and it's because of her. Passing down jewelry is not merely for the divine feminine soul, the women in the family with weight, the dainty fingers of pretty little girl things. Gold is good. More than simply a tradition that's transactional, this currency is international. She gave me a shiny clip-on bracelet, engraved with simple details, enclosed in a blue velvet snap box, with the golden rim. Treasures and a treat to ask my mom to fasten it tight, the way I never see Grandma doing. Because she breathes these metals, fumes from her form, she will keep these jewels on forever.
I don't know why I felt so anxious. I was only 6 or 7 years old, and I was sitting at the top of this plastic play structure in the backyard looking down on everything. The sun was going down, I remember. It was warm and cool at the same time. I was sitting at the top of this plastic play structure, and I was looking down at the empty table with the cheap white cloth and the half-eaten cake, and the kids, my peers, and their parents, strangers, all strangers, in my backyard with the half-dead grass and anthill concrete. And I don't know why, because I was very young, and I shouldn't have had a care in the world because life is perfect when you're a child and I had no real problems, but I felt so anxious. So I went back inside. I retreated, the screen door flapped to keep out the bugs. My hole, my dark orange safe house, my little parent-child nucleus, contextless, warm. Drawing off sticky alone in my room, assembling a past and a future from a present that turns into clutter, from the debris of suburban life. McDonald's after school on Mondays, pot stickers from a package, the library, dust, sweet gums, the heat. I'm staying inside because everyone is a stranger to me.
Growing up, I didn't see a lot of comic book characters that looked like me. In every origin story I've read, there's some mutated underdog that saves the day. But not all heroes wear capes. Sometimes they wear hard hats, or gardening gloves, or whatever keeps the poison off. I come from a long line of superhuman survivors. Grandma grew up working the fields, pesticides leaching into wombs, mutating babies with extra limbs. Mama grew up under telephone wires, electricity pulsing through her veins, supercharged with teenage toxic waste. I grew up in a city of smog and secrets. By the time I could walk, I was crossing bridges past freeways to preschool. By the time I could talk, my lungs were filled with more fumes than oxygen. But wherever we moved, the filth seemed to follow. Sewage in my rivers, asbestos in my walls, oil in my oceans, carcinogens in my lunch food. My body is so heavy with your hate. So why aren't I on a comic book cover? If I turn my pain into a costume, can I be a hero? I'm a paladin powered by injustice and pollution. They love a vigilante, but they don't want the revolution. I want your spotlight. I want your safety. I want your glory. This is my villain origin story.
When the white settlers got here, all they could see was land as body. See canyons as openings, see rivers and bounty as fertile, see breasts and mountains and think, take, plunder.
Conquerors cut up my body for consumption, like land divided by pride, served fresh by the mothers, daughters, and wives who must cater to their every craving.
I was taught to love man, to live for man, to create man. For a woman must conceive, we are merely a creator of breath and flesh, to be broken down, made from the rib of a cold body, lacking the warmth, the understanding, to see the light that we possess, a richness so fueling, it creates worlds.
I talk a lot, and people used to tell me that that was because I was a girl, or I knew what I wanted and was not afraid to say it.
I will not bear daughters, not any at all. I will not feed monsters, for my heart is too small. I cannot keep her safe or untouchable from harm, when I know the world wants to rob her of her charm.
Did they ever do more than try to enclose, pen, alter, remake you in his image?
I mold myself into the lay of the land, long legs like redwood trees, smooth skin like soft petals, big breasts like rolling hills, lush earth at the mercy of man.
I waxed the mountain connecting lands on my eyebrows, a vicious separation, but now I let it grow because I can't be bothered to pluck the hair that makes me warm and fuzzy inside and out. It's like therapy.
I can sense you beyond and through their mappings, the copies of your curves and crevices. I can sense myself in you, in the leaves unfurling, in roots reaching deep into what you are already made of. Earth.
My body's not a temple, it's a body. It's the body of a person who in the most basic and open sense is a woman. Not the image of a woman, but woman as in self, as in subject, unfastened from frameworks and cleft from counterparts, my own symbol, my own vessel, that pours forth only water. Maybe it's political, but it's more real if it's personal. It's freedom, the absence of shame, the presence of space, the recovery of the first person, of self-sight sans mirror. Because I hate being beautiful, and I hate being ugly, which are things you can't hate if you love people, and I do.
I have thought about men and women, how each will love and how it felt to be in love, like two separate worlds under the same umbrella on a pouring day, as strong winds blow petals your way.
My heart flutters for her like it's Valentine's Day. I'm 12 and I want the boy in gym class to notice me. He called my laugh beautiful, and that night I made a mixtape for the girl in my drama class and slid it to her during homeroom. The next year, I Frenched the boy in history, and he broke up with me for the quiet brunette in the spring play.
Too much tongue can taste bad, but the kiss reminded me of chemistry lessons in school when if the right two elements were put together, they'd explode into rainbow bubbling goop. I think back 7 years to tasteless kisses on swing sets and the canopy of monkey bars. How kissing meant everything and absolutely nothing at all. To have a man touch my plump lip and skinny boy body, but all boys use too much tongue. With nowhere to put their trapped thoughts, they unload it like garbage trucks coming by on Tuesday mornings.
Can't we just sit in our personhood and hold hands? Beyond comprehension, only the shared tension. Mismatched shapes in the air where we tried to form words. When I can tell that you really see me. Promise of your lips, but never affection. I feel the two-stepping, my ear on your chest. I delight in the way we sink.
I would like to say this is the freest I've ever felt. The most clear-headed, the most honest. All I want to do is yell out and feel my voice echo for miles. I would like to believe that here, atop this mountain, with the stars blinking everywhere around me, with all the space to scream into the night, my body before a darkened sky and the moon, somewhere doing what the moon does, pulling, holding.
She told me, in her drunken slurs, some shit about being gay. And I didn't know what I identified as. We exchanged numbers. She wanted to see me again, in the light of the day perhaps. She picked me up and took me to her apartment to pick up where we left off. I told her I had never hooked up with a girl before,
and that she would be my first.
Around the streams of light from the window in the morning, too worried to be seen and heard and felt, I don't think about those flags and titles. Where stripes and colors don't fit in the space between your eyes, if I show you pieces of myself, that is my love with you. When I see the puzzle in the mirror, that is love with myself.
Maybe I'm convincing myself I love her. Or maybe I love the way she wore my favorite color on her first date. And it didn't need to be a date for me to try to impress her and still forget to hold the door open. I don't know if I need the perfect man or if I just want to become the perfect man so I don't have to keep searching for him. But this time, maybe it's not about men or women. I just need to know what it's like to be loved by me.
Now I can love people. Being a lesbian is about loving people making sense to me. It's about loving people who can make sense of me without any effort at all. Because love is hard, so it should be effortless. Love should be naked, like before you entered the world. Love should be sensual, like the darkness, like every smell and taste that's everything you need to survive, like sustenance. Love should be like growing in a garden, up smiling towards the sun, like photosynthesis. Everyone, friends and lovers, family, strangers, a feeling of surety and purpose out of all the chaos all the time. I'm best when I feel like absolutely nothing is wrong with me.
I would like to believe that this is the closest to anything otherworldly I've had. But then I recall in my queerness care as the tender ofrenda, hands as prayer, presence, play. I recall the first mountain of release climbed with someone who respected my no. I think I wanted to scream then too.
Look in mirrors and find some glow, speak my mind, reap the benefits and the tensions of being tender and fierce, all at the same time. Radiation from the fire within, 'cause I kiss whoever I want now. And wanna know my secret? It's not only boys I kiss and I don't miss a thing.
I know I'm not the only one that sees slave patrol with the word Cherophobia, that sees that golden star and remembers what they called the Gold Coast. Gold, gold, God, their God be bloody, be wanting to make sacrifice out of us. Dear Creator, please let us die on our own terms again.
They say if you place a frog in a pot of water and gradually raise the temperature, it will not notice in time to jump out and will proceed to die unknowing. We were born into a boiling pot and taught to love the fire.
Most days, the water is enough to remind me that there are other possibilities beyond ash, like flood, like holy water, like cleansing.
I remember hearing about the Chauvin verdict and believing we're finally stepping in the right direction, as if our path, all of our destinies didn't have to be ridden with pain and suffering, but shouldn't we have been here all along?
We are numb to the cruelties we've grown up with, adapted to keep our hands up, heads down, see kids our age die at the end of a gun, and wonder when our time will come.
Flied to escape the cage, outran the damned poacher, but feathers plucked from her skin, her head shoved down in a hole in the ground, her cry echoing in my ear, "You're hurting me, my mother," a big long bird. Bullets are migration patterns. Pigeons fight for food in the streets.
Order out of disorder, law out of chaos. They call it cleansing for a reason, but clean is always dirty, clean is never clean. Clean somewhere means something shoved away elsewhere. Point to the closet and say there's skeletons, and then lie on the bed and think about it, like maybe we should paint the walls in here or something.
How many more of us will perish in this pot before we learn to extinguish the flames?
Most days, the water is enough to remind me that there are other possibilities beyond ash.
A little brown boy screamed for Papa and ran fast, corpse on a stretcher. Stolen homes and fires, mosques interrupted by bombs, heads bowed in prayer. Astaghfirullah. There's no room for this hatred. What of the children?
This is a place designed to tick off boxes, but it's a box in more ways than one. It's a container for memories, a container for people, a terrarium full of weeds and redwoods and rain.
I wish someone would have told me that universities are institutions, and institutions don't care about knowing how you're feeling and how to make it right.
It's all a hopeless wreck of a fucked up system. Everyone said I love college, but my education was my worth, and if I didn't have that, I was nothing.
Sometimes I simply don't know what's the road and where I am on it. On a shore somewhere far away, the sea brushes past bodies and they fall to the ground in this America.
Anger growing from an empty heart, I continue to latch onto what I've been programmed to know. Be silent or your rage will show. No one told me I wouldn't have enough money to live on campus or eat their food.
$1 is paper and the world runs on trees, like printing green paper with white dudes' faces on it is somehow more significant, more valued than oxygen. Redwood lives and breathes active air into every lecture hall and body. I like to say that what kept me here was the trees.
Living things and dead things and the things that do the killing all growing together. Things that are both alive and dead, emotional and unfeeling, logical and hateful, hopeful and bleak.
College is the best years of your life, spoken through lying teeth. Maybe for the rich, maybe for the privileged.
Nobody back home really talks about the workers or uses the words institution, capitalism, or fuck the police. Everybody back home gives you a hug for getting that acceptance letter and feels proud of you for your academic excellence.
No one told me I'd have my skin tone pointed out by a stranger at the plaza who felt comfortable to judge my character based on skin.
Nobody back home really talks about the demands of the people, the struggle to stay alive here, the struggle to be free and whole.
No one told me I'd have no time, no space, no place.
This place is a cell pretending to be a home, or it's a womb pretending to be a cubicle, but mostly it's a box pretending to be a creature, to the point where it eats and blinks and breathes, to the point where it lives.
I want the world to be different. Wishing I envision red, maybe from the blood, remorse, wrath, from the lost voices and lost choices. Pain wouldn't exist. Sorrow no longer lingers. The system wouldn't run on energy from the hands of broken people, from the sweat of polluted waters, shaking hands and wet eyes, weeping over a lost cause. Human necessities wouldn't be commodities with hefty price tags of body and soul. I want the world to be different, so red wouldn't be all we know.
I want to be like you, safe and strong and blissfully ignorant. I want power like you. I want the freedoms of man to be given to women, justice for all the sisters born to serve their brothers. I want to stop being told my limitations, reminded weekly that I am weak, that guys like you kill girls like me. I want a world free of fear. I want to take back the streets and own the skies. I want to wear the stars on my thighs. I want true equality, and someday I want you to want to be like me.
I want gratitude for the long line of mothers before me, brujas and bitches with calloused coarse feet, lines in their faces although they were young, wrinkled and spun they basked in the sun, strong backs and arms and brows full of sweat, toting babies that don't speak yet.
I want an extra hour, hyper-focusing on my dying plant, ashamed of the wilted petals, yet what potential it had to grow. Maybe if I had an extra hour a day, an extra day on the weekends, then I could focus on the things happening right before my eyes. Maybe if we could just pause and observe the world around us, free of responsibilities of school and work, rid of the desire to do something. Instead, can we focus on becoming something?
I want to invest in eyes, see through someone and continue looking. Life feels visual, sensual, erotic, and at times simple. I look through glass windows, in mirrors, but it ain't the same as it is to look at someone and to have them see you back, to see and to be seen. Here, that is revolutionary. Not needing to ask to be seen, but knowing you are, walking down the street to people turning their heads, in acknowledgement, in solidarity, in the moment, with you, beside you, alongside you, next to you, across from you, near you, and a part of you, without really having to know or be you.
I want a world where I can be B'nai, poet, Black, not American, but translating a breeze between shores. Everything I've been taught about being African has come from a classroom, from a place of guilt for the past. I grew up whitewashing my canvas so I could be painted. I didn't know that you had a dusty book in a closet, or a box full of hospital records and letters that told you where the ripples landed. How long ago was my family able to own a box, a home, a body? That's why I don't want to write about the pain no more. I'm the first to know it like a cousin passed before I was born. The death, the dying, damnation, and dignitaries drinking dreams. I don't want to walk into a room knowing I might have to speak for someone I don't know, the same way those I don't know shape the worldview of me.
I want Ice Cube's "It Was a Good Day" to echo in my earbuds. Then there ain't no cop, no big ass Whole Foods. I want to hear everybody has quit the Wendy's and the McDonald's and the Burger King and the Chipotle and the Freddy's, the Red Robin, DoorDash, Uber, Postmates. But the corner store that's been there since you were your parents' tiny shadow is still there. And they ain't gonna be able to discover what has happened here. In the future, Black children can be child. We'll be alive. We'll live. We'll have more than nuclear family, nuclear war. We'll have the rivers and the sky, and song and praise and jubilee and all the good days.
I want the divine and the quiet. I'm not religious. I just want to be full of the feeling that every circle of the sun is a small miracle. I want to hold things in my hands, admire them, turn them over, pass them to another, give and receive their sensation, their color, their aroma, all the things that are made invisible in circuits and cells. Because my time has been drained of color. Every cycle is designed for growth and stagnancy. My circadian rhythm is drawn into a spiral of platitudes and pointless production, pushed around the grindstone like seeds into flour. But still, arcs of the sun pass outside our windows like they did when we were small, believing that we would make something so beautiful one day. And the more I grow in this spiral towards the drain, the more I wish I could cease striving towards an end. The more I want to make it my dogma that every child of God is sacred, and that every child is a God. And that all I know is that it would make me happy to play with you all forever in the garden. I want to hold your hands like they did back then, at the beginning of time. Everything you make dear God, is beautiful to me.